I love these. We've been going, oh gosh, how long has it been, Leanne?
5, 6.
Yeah, a long time now. So it's wonderful to see something like this grow in the community. It started off really small and it just keeps getting better and better. So good to see some new faces here. Right, I'm going to kind of stick to my script because otherwise I can tend to wander and I've got a very strict schedule. So, Zen Druidry, if this is not the talk you wanted to hear. So, Zen Druidry are 2 words that you don't often hear together. The first kind of brings to mind far-off Eastern lands with Buddha and lotus flowers, and the second invokes a Celtic mysticism with mistletoe and sickles, and men in long flowing robes with beards and stroking and all that other kind of thing. So what could happen when you bring the 2 together? And what I've discovered is it's a practical, down-to-earth spirituality, a philosophy, and a way of life. So, what is Zen? I'm going to do a brief introduction of Zen, a brief introduction of Druidry, and then bring them together. So Zen is living your meditation, fully awake and fully aware. Bodhidharma, Buddha, said, not dependent on the written word, transmission apart from scriptures, directly pointing at one's heart, seeing one's nature, becoming Buddha. It's not about sitting on a cushion all day meditating. It's about an awareness of everything and bringing that awareness into every aspect of our lives. It's seeing our own nature within nature. Zen is often likened to a philosophy, an attitude, a way of life. It doesn't require belief in anything. It doesn't even require a belief in Buddha. If you didn't think he existed, that's fine. It's about relationship, and it's about understanding our relationship with everything around us, knowing that we are not separate entities in the world. We are individuals, but we are a collective of individuals. Zen is about experiencing fully. It refuses to be distracted by the constructed world around us, from the prisons that we create in our own minds, created through the material consumerism that we see running rampant all around us, especially at Christmas time. Zen means not only going with the flow of the world around us, but it means becoming the flow itself. It is about the true joy of life itself. So, what is Druidry? Druidry was the spiritual tradition of the natives of Britain, Ireland, and parts of Europe. An ancient pagan tradition, it was the relationship between people and the land, which is maintained in modern Druidry today, with a focus towards more individualized relationships with the natural world. Druidry today includes relationships with the ancestors and with a cultural heritage, as well as encompassing many other worldviews. Druidry, like Zen, is sometimes thought of as a philosophy. It is indeed a way of life. It doesn't require belief in any external deity or concept. Druidry seeks to strengthen the bonds of our relationship with the natural world, with everything around us, gaining inspiration and wisdom from studying the patterns within nature and holding a reverence for nature. It is about attuning to the cycles of nature around us that we find ourselves continually distanced from in our modern lives, and it's about finding the wisdom of the oak, Dru, which means oak, and Wid, which means wisdom. So, what is Zen Druidry? Zen Druidry encompasses both teachings from Zen and Druidry to combine a spirituality that is infused with awareness of the natural world around us. Both Zen and Druidry are all about relationship and how we fit into the world around us. Through meditation and concepts such as non-attachment to thoughts and experiences, Coupled with high levels of concentration and focus, Zen Druidry allows us to see the world for what it really is, and in doing so, to truly honor it with every fiber of our being. It holds a deep reverence for nature in all her glory. All too often in today's society, we can feel disconnected from nature, our concepts of the real world and the spiritual world growing ever further apart. Zen Druidry teaches us that there really is only one world, where spirit is real and reality is spirit. Incorporating exercises to help keep that connection strong. That made me jump. Focus. Keeps you aware. Wake up. Incorporating exercises to keep that connection strong is very useful with a holistic worldview. So I will provide some examples of things you can do every day to remind yourself that the two worlds are really one, that connection with time, place, and spirit in its totality, reality, is achieved through our everyday actions. So things you can do to connect. Watch the sunrise, the sunset every day. This is an invaluable exercise in connection with the solar tides, which in turn reflect the seasonal and the yearly tides of life. Fitting in the time to either watch the sunrise or the sunset will depend on certain factors, the main factors of course being work and family. If your schedule doesn't allow you to watch the sunset during the short winter days, then try watching the sunrise instead, even though it may mean getting up earlier in the dark and in the cold. Even if this isn't an option, then try and go outside at least once a day, at the same time, perhaps during your lunch break, to notice where the sun is in the sky. Notice what quality of light there is at a particular time of year, and how it is reflected in the world around you. Try not to comment on it, but simply look at it. Notice it and how it makes you feel inside. Similarly, you can try and watch the moon rise and the moon set. Go outside every night and try to find it. Try to find the moon and watch its course through all the seasons. Watch the stars wheeling overhead, keeping track of what is where during which time and which season. Bathing can be seen as connecting to the very important spirit of water. A ritual that can be done every day. Really feel the water on your skin, whether it's a bath or a shower or simply washing your face. Immerse your hands in the water and feel its energy. Feel the power that your water holds. Find out where your water comes from and visit that place, if at all possible. Most of Ipswich water, I think, comes from Alton Reservoir, which is a beautiful place. Do go and visit it. It's lovely circular walks around it. So learn about your water. It doesn't just magically come out of the tap from nowhere. This will help you connect with water in a very positive way. Be completely aware when bathing. Awareness is the key to Zen, and incorporating this in your everyday rituals will deepen your Druidry considerably as well. When bathing, do nothing but bathe. I know sometimes I like to read a magazine, take a glass of wine in. Nice little relaxation ritual. But as well, completely focusing on the simple act of bathing is an act of spirituality, an act of devotion in itself. Cooking is a good example of connecting with your food and your loved ones. Finding out where your food comes from, who grew it. These are all important factors to consider. Get back in touch with your food, literally. Don't just peel a potato. Feel its skin, the mud and the dirt clinging to it. Smell the woody, earthy smell. Look at all its lumps and colors and bumps. This can be done with all food. As children, we explored with our food. You'll all have seen a toddler picking up food and putting it all over their face. I'm not suggesting that, but they touch their food. They're tactile with it. When was the last time you ate with your hands instead of utensils? Food tastes differently when it's not touching metal. Something to try. It's not so good with soup, but... When preparing your meal, know that you are preparing something that will nourish you, and it will also nourish the others that you are feeding. Give back a little of your meal in thanks for what you have received. Be aware of what you eat, and when you eat, do nothing but eat. Is that a phone? Is that a real bird?
It's a bird.
Oh, what? Grow something from seed. This is a very good exercise. This really connects you to the power that is life. By watching something throughout its cycle, by tending and caring for it, you will find a connection with that spark that inspires everything to live. Spring, I love this season because you see in nature that spark. It's, for me, I find it's called courage to make daffodils come out of the ground even though there's still cold northeasterly winds. It's that courage that we need to find, and we'll establish a connection with it by nurturing and growing something from seed. When tending and caring for the plants, do not let other distractions enter your mind. Simply focus on weeding, watering, and feeding the plant. Do not get lost in dreams of what may come, or you may lose the present moment. And when gardening, do nothing but garden. There's actually a very good book called The Mindful Gardener by the head gardener of Chalice Well. Have a look into it if you enjoy gardening. It will establish a truly new relationship that you have with your garden. Meditate every day. This is hard for some people, easy for others, but it's worth giving it a go. Whether inside or outside, taking this time out for yourself to connect with nature and your environment is invaluable. You will feel calmer, more at peace, and losing that sense of dis-ease or disease that so pervades our society. Listen to the world around you. Feel and see what is happening. A small meditation each day is like a mini ritual of devotion. It is simply taking the time out to be, to notice, and to honor that specific moment. We are human beings. Let's just be. So, how do we meditate in Zen Druidry? Because meditation is the key. The very thing we must learn to do is to keep our feet firmly on the ground. The earth is our home, and we are rooted here, hoping to go deeper into the nature of earth. If you can, find a place outside if possible